Hi friends, we have another Fude video for you today. Very excited again to be working with Fude Beauty. They are so just generous in their willingness to work with me and presenting the different brushes that they have available on their site. This video is not sponsored, it's more of a collaboration where we think about different video ideas to present, and therefore they'll send me those brushes based on the concept. And today we're talking about liquid foundation brushes. But if it's your first time here, hi, I'm Alicia. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you are returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I'm a fitness professional who loves things, all movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeup, so you can head over to my Instagram. Liquid foundation brushes has been a category that I found just so intriguing because there are so many types. You have natural, you have synthetic, and natural blends, and depending on the finish, the type of medium you want to use, whether it be cream or liquid, will determine ultimately what brush you purchase. And not only with this video, but with several others that I have done with Fude Beauty, the purpose of dedicating a video to these brushes is so that you feel more comfortable making a buying decision or not. I know for myself as a consumer, when it comes to brushes, it's very difficult to figure out just from a photo alone, even with descriptions provided, if this is going to be an ideal brush for my needs, for how I do makeup, right? Because everyone does their makeup differently. Everyone has their own expectations in terms of how they want their makeup to appear, what finish they like. So we're looking at their top selling liquid foundation brushes, and I'm just so pleased because I had one already on their proposed list and they sent me the rest, and some of these I already had my eye on. So it was great timing, let me just say that. Let me also fix these brows because on my last Fude Beauty video, they were not. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Oh, that's better. We're taking a look at 7 different liquid foundation brushes ranging from different brands, different blends. I have some B-roll, but I'll also be applying and speaking at the same time because I just want to give you as many examples as possible with as many different products as possible. So with that said, why don't you come in a little closer? That's enough. My blemishes say hello as well. The first one I would like to begin with is the beloved Koyudo F03. Well, it says F-U-P-A, but I'm going to say Fu-Pa. The Fu-Pa02. This foundation brush retails for $54, and it is a favorite. If you just look how thick it is, the short handle, and it's hard to see, but the handle is actually a very dark emerald, like a metallic green. It's hard to detect on camera, but if you can see here, the ferrule is black, but the actual handle is like that dark metallic green. And here you have Fu-Pa in cursive. This brush, the moment I saw it, I was like, I want to know what that feels like. It says here, this brush is perfect for liquid foundation. The densely packed bristles allow you to apply foundation with ease. The blend of goat and Chikuhodo goat imitation bristles feel soft like actual goat hair, but are more durable. As following by our calligraphy brush making techniques, we remove any hair that lacks its tip. This technique helps you to prevent irritating your skin. It says here the handle is made of wood and the color uses high quality pearl green. Pearl green, I said metallic, it's pearl, Alicia. This is the densest powder brush of all Koyudo brushes, and it can be used for powder foundation or blusher. Moving the brush with a circular motion, it leaves skin with a natural looking glow. And as you saw in the B-roll, I used the Fu-Pa brush to blend in the Westman Atelier Vital Skin Foundation, stick in 9. So I thought today I will apply the Koyudo Aqua Foundation in 143 with the Koyudo. I really, however, enjoyed this brush with a stick foundation simply because I think a stick or cream type of formula just warrants a thicker brush type. And just look how densely packed it is. I mean, it's just so beautifully plush on the skin and beyond ideal to blend in, whether it be liquid or cream. But my favorite medium to use with this brush is a cream finish. And as you see, I like to pull the foundation down over the skin And it's blended in a jiffy, And I do recognize the fact that even though these are made with, they say imitation, I guess that's a different way of saying synthetic, or synthetic bristles that do mimic that of Chikuhodo Goat. This doesn't feel like a synthetic brush at all. I feel, depending on the brush, it might feel a little plasticky. Some synthetic brushes are really soft, like the BK Beauty Contour Foundation brush in 101, which is one of my faves. But the plushness is just to die for. I absolutely love how quickly I could get my foundation on. And of course, if I wanted a little more, I could go in with the Westman on portions that I need a little more coverage on. And in the same fashion that you just saw how the Fu-Pa applied the liquid foundation, just, I feel, more than ideal with the cream stick. And again, because this is not all natural hair, the brush won't absorb as much product like an all natural hair brush would, therefore leaving behind a little more coverage if that is what you prefer. Makeup? No makeup, but we like this side too. It's just, you know, it's having a little bit of a moment. It's fine. They also said blusher, I'm assuming still cream, simply because I rather buff in a powder foundation, but we'll go into LYS's higher standard satin matte cream blush in Inspire. This though is sublimely perfect for blush. I mean, you're done. I like to place it first on the apples of the cheeks and pounce the brush around as opposed to pull down. You could still pull up if you want that blush gradient to spread up towards your cheekbones, but this just makes it incredibly simple to apply blush. In fact, I think very intuitive to use because it fits perfectly onto the apples of your cheeks, and because of the dome shape on the brush head, once you bring it in contact with your cheek, you immediately know where the color should go because you just feel it perfectly there. And again, you could work it higher or you could work it lower towards your nose and it'll be a flawless application. It's time for some LYS lip oil. Alicia, are you kidding me? What are you cracking up lips? I understand I didn't put any concealer on. We're waiting for another brush for that. And I believe the Fu-Pa has been updated recently. I think this is the newer version. I will put down in the comments what those differences are just so that you know also. Next up, we have the Koyudo F08 Mineral Brush Fu-Pa02. This apparently is a newer addition to the Koyudo line, and this retails for $32. This brush is perfect for liquid and mineral foundation. The flat, dense packed bristles head allows you to apply foundation with ease. The high quality synthetic bristles, we're looking at synthetic friends, are soft and durable. And keep in mind, the main difference between a synthetic brush that's made in Japan and elsewhere is that they still honor that calligraphy making tradition where they use synthetic fibers that are very fine, almost identically mimicking a natural hair, so that it still yields that soft feel on the skin and just leaves behind a beautiful soft focus blend. Now, I haven't been wearing mineral foundation, but I do have powder foundation that I could demo on standby. I do want to show, however, what my favorite product is to use with the Fu-Pa-4. That is undoubtedly the Danessa Balm Contour. Look at the edge. Look, like this wedge just makes it perfectly easy to is right there. You get the Balm Contour right at the edge of the brush, you pounce it in, and the shape is perfect. It's not too small and not too big, right? You're not going to stay here forever blending out your contour. I'm going in with medium too, and I primarily take it on the edge here, and I fit it right into the hollows of the cheeks. And it's just, you're done. You're done. Again, this spread right here makes it easy to feel where the brush goes, right? So you get the wedge right into the hollows of the cheekbones, and then the rest of the brush diffuses the product up and around whatever you decide to apply prior. I use this brush also on the temples. I think it blends it beautifully there as well. You could still take this brush down the jawline to apply your contour here also. And you could use this for blush as well. If I wanted to take more Inspire, I could take another color or stick with this one. And again, the wide surface, even with the wedge, makes it super easy to apply blush just where you need it, right? Right here on the apples, or like I applied the Balm Contour here higher on the cheekbones. And the blend that's left behind is outrageous. Now going into some mineral, this technically is not mineral foundation. This is the Suku Lucent Powder Foundation. They're coming out with their glow powder on the 11th. I already contacted Beatrice. We're going to get on that in a minute. But I'm going to take some Lucent Powder Foundation and just pounce it. If you want it, you can swirl and twirl, but I like to pounce it down because this formula in particular is just so soft and lightweight that you don't have to think about or fear overloading the skin. But if you want it, you could use this brush to pick up your powder foundation and you could layer this on whatever you had on prior. The skin won't look heavy or overly textured. Next up is the Nakamura Seisakusho 04 from their K series liquid foundation brush. This retails for $71, so it's one of the more expensive ones in the lineup. It says here this brush gives you even coverage and can be used in multiple ways. Best fit for liquid and cream foundations. The sleek black brushes are a professional grade series that emphasize performance and durability. Bristles are a fine blend of carefully selected natural hair and PBT, which are combined in the optimum ratio for delicate skin feel, similar to that of gray squirrel. This one in particular, we're looking at a goat and PBT blend. You can see it takes on more like a stippling type of a brush, but I love how it's all dyed black. It really does give you that pro feel. You saw in the B-roll that I used this brush to apply my Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Foundation in LM14 mixed in with a little pyrite from Oryx Glow Lust line. Because of its like wispy feel on the skin, I thought this brush was appropriate to use with more of like a liquidy type of foundation like the Pat McGrath. And I'm sure you can also get away with moving around a foundation that's creamier in finish like the Huda Beauty Full Filter foundation stick. I still have to go in with Mama Pat's Skin Fetish because I think this is an ideal formula to use the Nakamura Seisakusho brush with the K04 simply because I just love just whipping it on, you know what I mean? So I'm taking from the back of my hand, and this is what is picking up on the bristle, and we're gonna quickly whisk it on. Now, this brush, because it's lighter than, let's say, the Koyudo Fu-Pa brush, it's not gonna lay down as much product. I feel this ideal for a makeup wearer who wants a lighter finish, who maybe likes to apply tinted foundation, something on the lighter part of the realm, and doesn't want a heavy dose of foundation. But it just feels so soft, and of course when everything has been applied, you could take your circular motions and buff in the rest of the product, and the finish that's left behind is simply beautiful. Now, I would recommend that you wash this brush before you use it because you will get a little bit of shedding and the brush will eventually start to stabilize the more you use it. And that's just par for the course. Anytime you have a synthetic and natural hair mix, the tendency to shed is a little higher than that's exclusively made with synthetic or exclusively made with natural hair. But again, once you wash it and use it often and just go through that period of a little bit of shedding, eventually it will stop and you'll be good to go. Again, just very lightweight and quick. And if you wanted to see if I wanted a little more coverage, then of course I will use a brush that's thicker, right? Either going back to the Fu-Pa, whether it be the goat blend or the purely synthetic blend, I could go in back with this brush and just tap where I want a little more, yeah? I'll lay down a little more coverage, but I like to go in with the K4 first just to have like that nice wispy lay down of foundation that's not super heavy, that's more on the light side. And I also wanted to use the brush with the Oryx just to kind of get it that. I take some on the back of my hand, carefully whip it on the cheekbones. Such a quick way to get this product on if you don't want to use your fingers or a sponge. Yeah, and if you don't want it to look like an exclusive highlight, I think this brush is perfect to just whip it on quick and leave behind a beautiful glow. And I also think liquid blush will be another ideal medium to use with the K4 because liquid brushes could be a little tricky, but with that brush, the long bristles, I feel makes it really easy to blend on the apples and create that beautiful gradient on the cheeks. Ooh, we got a good one coming up. The Chikuhodo GSN-5 liquid foundation brush from their GSN series. This already comes in kind of dyed, and I just love the gradient on the bristles. I've been been eyeing this brush for a very long time, and thank you again Fude Beauty for including it in the feature list. This brush retails for $39, and it says here this brush is perfect for quick and light application of foundation. The bristle is ideal for blending the foundation colors, and it will help you effectively apply it, needing less foundation. This brush, of course, is designed to put on as much product as possible on the get-go versus you having to layer a lot of makeup on your skin. It will still have a natural finish, but you'll have that coverage at the same time. And this is Chikuhodo goat hair, so not Chikuhodo, not as soft, but pretty soft. And I just appreciate that it's pinched at the ferrule. And first of all, the GSN series, come on, pearlized white handle with this beautiful mirrored gold ferrule, double crimped, and then of course you have the pinch here. But the brush itself, again, the brush head has this beautiful gradient to the bristles. I love that it's flat on both sides, and I like to use this brush particularly, excuse me, for concealer. Now granted, I have traveled with this brush to bays, and I have used this brush because, you know, I didn't want to bring all the brushes. Foundation application, concealer, contour, blush, highlight. So if you're looking for more of a multi-purpose brush, the Fu-Pa you could get away with contour. I think is a little big. You still can get away with it because it just, there's a slight taper here that if you concentrate the product on the center of the brush, you can successfully apply it there. But because the handle is on the bigger side, which I love, it's not going to fit into my brush holder, right? So this one, the GSN, the tapered handle, I just think makes it a little more pack friendly. That's pretty much the reason why I rely on this brush to travel with. But I also love it for concealer. It's still relatively soft despite it being made of Chikuhodo goat hair. It does not scratch my lash line. It does not feel rough there. I love it for both the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Concealer as well as the Shiseido Gel Stick Concealer. I will have all the details down below if you want to take a look at the shades. That's no problem. But I think this brush is perfect for concealer, as well as if you wanted to apply, I know some of you like to apply concealer on the lid. You could whip it on the lid. You could also take a little bit of contour, whether it be cream contour or bronzer, on the edges of your nose. And just to switch it up, why don't we go in with the Westman Atelier contour stick in Biscuit, which is significantly cooler, but I haven't worn this a lot because I've just been trying on all the things. But this is ideal for contour application and blending. I mean, the brush just fits perfectly into the hollows. If you don't want to go straight on, you could use the side of the brush and just punch it in right there. There we got a little shadow. I also especially love this brush to apply cream highlighter. We could go into Westman's super loaded highlighter. This is in Peau de Soleil. I go directly in from pan to brush, and in this way we could pounce that on more maybe on the apples of the cheeks. And again, this makes it ideal not only for contour application, for blush, as well as highlight. This brush, I think, small enough to pinpoint highlight here on the very tops of the cheekbones. It won't escape from you. It will stay right where it is and just be perfect with that application. And next up, of course, the brush I already own because I knew. The Chikuhodo T-11 liquid brush from their Takumi series. I've had this brush for a few months now, maybe not up to a year, maybe 6 months. This retails for $57. It's one of the more expensive offerings here from what we have in the video. I've been using the heck out of this brush. Apply quickly and evenly with the transparent finish for your skin. The voluminous tips fit snugly around the eyes and can be covered naturally. The amount of foundation is smaller than that of a sponge. And here we're looking at Chikuhodo goat hair. So Chikuhodo is softer than Chikuhodo, and because of that, this brush is softer than the GSN-5. The Takumi brush is a little bigger, but they're similar in size. You see that they're pinched. They have flat sides, but they're fluffy. But you see the Takumi T-11 has more bristle. I think because of that, a little more versatile than the GSN-5, simply because if you have a bigger face, this will take a while to get the product all over. I think this is the perfect size for small to larger faces. It's going to be really quick for a smaller face, but it's not going to take forever on a larger face. And the faces in between will be, you know, done in the jiffy as well. And again, I think sublime for contour, blush, or highlights. And we haven't dipped into the Fenty in a while. This is in Teddy, and I thought, you know, why don't I just go straight in? I really love this for contour or bronzer because look, it just fits right there into the hollows of the cheeks. You could go straight on, you could use more of the side of the brush to create that blend. And why not? We could go into Tower 28's After Hours, which is more of like a wine. I'll actually place this a little higher so it could drape over both the Westman and the Fenty cream products. But again, this brush just makes it sublimely easy to apply any cream product. I mean, I use this a lot for my foundation application because it's just, I just love that paint type of a feel when I'm blending out my foundation. I like to use the brush on the flat side and just get it on there fast. You could paddle it on, right? Or you could stipple it on, whatever you choose to do. You'll definitely get a softer feel if you apply it in this fashion versus straight on. Although I would say between this and the GSN-5 again, the GSN-5 straight on could feel a little prickly, so just be careful with that. That's why I like to go in on the flat side under the eyes if I choose to use this brush or the GSN-1 for concealer blending. But look at all the products that we applied, friends. We have like a million gazillion things on the face, and the blend is flawless. And when I run my fingers over everything, of course, yes, I feel the makeup. It doesn't feel like I have layers and layers of makeup on my skin. And that is the tendency of using a natural hairbrush. It will take away some of the product because it has cuticles on the fiber as opposed to a synthetic brush. Not to say you can't achieve a beautiful blurred finish with synthetic brushes. If you want more of a natural finish, however, you might want to consider, of course, if that's fine with you and your morals and you're not allergic to animal hair, that you stick to a natural hairbrush. And this one, I was thrilled to discover that it was included on the feature list. Another Chikuhodo brush, but this one is the PF-4 puff brush. I am just so intrigued by the longer ferrule. Now, the PF series, I believe, has the shorter handles. You have Chikuhodo here on the bottom. You still have the pearl white, but the ferrule, fam, I just can't get over this. It reminds me of the Taj Mahal. I hope that doesn't offend anyone. It's just, I'm looking at this architecturally and structurally in terms of the inspiration and just the feel or the vibe I immediately receive when I see this brush. This retails for $62, so again, a little more on the expensive side, but look how much bristle you're getting. Look at that. That is a lot of bristle, okay? Elegant and compact, this brush is packed with undyed Sokoho goat hairs with the density that feels like velvet on your skin. Correct! The dome shape gives excellent coverage to pores and creates a smooth, even finish. Use this brush with powder, liquid, and cream makeup. Oh, we could use it with powder. This is velvet soft, and because of the dome, this is just super soft. In the B-roll here, I use this brush to apply the LYS foundation and TN3. It just blends like a dream. There's no lines, no texture left behind. The finish is absolutely just blurred and soft focus. And again, because of its round shape, beautifully ideal to apply some cream blush. I would say not my ideal brush to apply contour with. Now, you can certainly do so. I would say place the contour more on one side of the brush just so you could use that edge. However, I think just because of the shape is beyond perfect for foundation application. Even if I apply a little bit, let's say I go in with the Huda, like if I go in a little bit with the Huda here, it blends in a jiffy. I like to go pull down. You can go swirl and twirl. I wouldn't apply a lot of pressure on the brush, I would suggest you graze just lightly over the skin. And as you see, you don't have to over manipulate the brush or apply a lot of pressure to get a smooth blend. The brush is going to do that for you. And I feel in this swirl and twirl type of a method, look how smooth that is, despite my blemishes, okay? Patrick Ta's Double Take Cream and Powder Blush. Why not? Because I think it said, yes, powder, liquid, and cream. There you go. I'll go in with the powder first, and, well, I love that. And now with the cream, it's the pounce for me, friends. The pounce for me. We could do a little bit of the swirl and twirl, you know? That works as well. And here's the finish. Absolutely amazing. If you want, you could do a little wipey wipe and just go over everything on the edges so that everything just blends together. There are no harsh lines. I could go back to my GSN-5, and if I insist on using the brush, I'll go straight from stick to brush, and there you go. Apply it right there on the cheekbones. I think you get a better finish with your finger for this particular product. Maybe we want a more potent, how do you say, delivery of the auric. And now since it's a smaller brush as opposed to the Nakamura Seisakusho Kei 4, this is going to lay down a little more product simply because I picked up more, but because the brush is just more densely packed, it's going to lay down more product. And there you go. I feel like I gotta put some more on this side too. We gotta be even. We're almost done, fam. Hold on tight. The next one up, the Mizuho CMP-510 foundation brush from their CMP series. This retails for $32. I think a great price point if you're just dipping your toes into Fude. You don't want to do the 60 or the 50 or the 70, but 32 is pretty good. This is sublimely soft. It says here, the versatile foundation brush that can be used for both powder and liquid foundation. Round, dense bristles made of very fine synthetic fiber offer a great balance of touch and durability. With this brush, you can create an even thin layer of base foundation with powder, liquid, and mineral foundation. If you're looking for something that's versatile, this is it. I mean, this is crazy soft. I forgot which foundation I used to apply this with, but when I used it for the first time a week ago, I immediately detected the softness. It was just like, oh wow, this is like pillow soft. So if you rather use a synthetic fiber for your foundation application, this will then lay down more product because it's not going to absorb as much. I'm going in with a little more Koyudo with the Mizuho, and it just gets it on so quickly, like whips it on, and it feels so soft. So you could either buff it on or slap it on. You could do the pull down method if you like. It said powder, so I could go back in with my Suku. And keep in mind, I already applied Koyudo, the Westman, the Suku powder foundation, and I applied more Koyudo, and now applying more Suku powder foundation. I can start on this side first. So it's beautifully soft here, and I'm basically taking just on the tip of the brush, and I enjoy swirling and twirling the powder foundation on. I just think because it grazes beautifully across the skin, it doesn't disrupt what's underneath. And I think that's key to realize that when you use a foundation brush that's really soft, but again, durable as they said, that's not going to disrupt your makeup application. It's just going to enhance it. Like, what in the world? I have a lot of product on my face, fam. Like a lot. And still, it doesn't look overwhelmed to me. You could tell me otherwise down below. We'll go in with LYS again. This is In Kindness. I love the Mizuho for cream blush application. I mean, you could not get just any simpler than this. You could also take it up towards your cheekbone. Listen, if you wanted to, you could very much still use this for cream contour or bronzer. I would get it on more on one side of the brush first, so I could have a better aim, if you will, when applying on the hollows of the cheeks. Yeah, so I feel where the brush is going. I wouldn't go head on because I think that might drop your application a little too low. But if you keep it on the edge of the brush, then you very much well can use this brush for all your complexion tasks as well as your cheek tasks. And if we were to go into Westman Super Loaded again, my favorite, Eau de Pêche. Again, in the same fashion that I applied the cream bronzer, I take the highlighter on the edge and just lightly apply that on the cheekbones. And you could use this one brush for all the tasks. You could even use it for concealer. It's a little big for concealer, but if you get the edge of the brush right in under the eye, you can make it happen for sure. And to know that you could use this brush also for highlighter, I just think is exceptional and just widens that spectrum for you, so you don't have to feel pressure to get a separate brush for highlighting, a separate brush for blush. I mean, we spoke about this in the Kyureido brush video where I said you could use one brush, for instance, for all the tasks. I use this for loose powder, for blush, for highlight, for contouring, for bronzer. You could use any of these brushes, even the Fu-Pa, okay? Let's give some little love to the Fu-Pa. If I wanted to use this for highlight, I could definitely get away with it. Is it ideal? No. But if you're on a budget and you really just need to choose one brush, I would say experiment with it. See what works, what doesn't work, because maybe you'll discover an application that you didn't think possible, because we make assumptions. I do. I try not to all the time when I see a brush and its size and what I think is going to work or not work with. If you find out it works for more makeup products that you didn't think otherwise possible, you don't have to buy all the brushes. You could use one or two. And with that said, we got one more. I already showed this in the Kyureido brush video, but I wanted to introduce again the white F001. This is also synthetic. It retails for $26. I believe this is the lowest price out of the offerings here. The soft bristles of this foundation brush emulate the feel of natural fibers. Use this brush to apply both powder and liquid products evenly and smoothly to the skin. This is all PBT, and I would say out of all the brushes that we used, especially because against the Koyudo, this is synthetic as well. I think the Koyudo, they both feel similar in feel and in softness. I prefer the Koyudo just because I think this is a little more versatile in terms of the design. This is more of a typical flat kabuki brush that you can still get away with several tasks. You can most certainly get away with applying foundation, as you saw. I think it more ideal for me to apply your cream, contour, or bronzer with. You can still apply blush. I'd rather use a slightly bigger brush or one that's flatter on one side. But if we take the Westman here, for this, I'd rather pick up product from the back of my hand and thereafter pounce it in a circular fashion. So you most definitely could use this brush for blush application, absolutely. It's flatter. It might not feel like it's hugging your cheek like the other brushes that I presented, but you could definitely make it happen. And why not? Let's just put more on this side. And it says powder, so you know, why don't we go in with Natasha Denona? I'll pick up a little bit from her Love Cheek palette and see how much we could get from this little brush. Now this is a jelly type of formula that typically might be tougher to pick up. You could definitely make the powder application happen. You might have to change your application technique just a little bit, because I just like to apply powders in this fashion, right? That's just what I'm accustomed to, right? And especially with a gelée type of formula, I do feel a bristle like the pine squirrel is more appropriate for this pickup. But as you saw, I was still able to make it happen. Is it what I usually do? No, but you know what? It's not about me, okay? I just wanted to show a little bit of versatility, because even though it wasn't my typical way to apply a powder product, it blended. Like, look at that. Look at my cheeks. They're so shiny. Now, if we really wanted to get crazy, I'll take the edge of the Kyureido and just strike it across my crease. Now, I know, of course, not all eye shapes will be able to get away with this application, but, you know, if we're in a jam and you got to put something on your eyes and you don't want to use your fingers, I'm applying the cream blush more on the edge of the brush so I could get it more in the crease, and just use the finger to kind of whisk away the edges and apply some Eau de Pêche here on the lids. Do a little mascara. Probably the GSN-5 would have been better Ooh, wait a minute, hold on. Take a little bit of after hours. Oh yeah, GSN-5 is fun for some cream blush on the lids. No other than some dark star. I realized I didn't use any of these brushes for under eye setting powder. Let's see here, what can we do? Now, of course, the smallest one would be the GSN-05, and I'm just dipping in with my Suku loose powder here, and you know, it'll just be a matter of that. And anywhere else you wanted to powder it up on. Here's a close-up of both sides, just taking a look at how everything came together using the different brushes in this video, using different products, and just clearly based on the demonstration. The brushes just go above and beyond to yield that beautiful blend. I have a bunch of stuff on my face, and by no means does it look heavy on the skin. And I typically wouldn't apply this much product. I mean, I would just choose one blush, one bronzer, contour, one highlighter, maybe a few foundations. I like to mix it up. Regardless, the finish is simply flawless. There's no makeup left behind in terms of it looking artificial on your skin. It's nearly undetectable, and I think that it is the primary difference that I have recognized when using Fude brushes, especially in the liquid foundation category. We all want that coverage without it looking like coverage. We still want our skin to look like skin. We don't want it to look like it's obvious that we're wearing foundation. And these foundation brushes are just... And they don't only have to be used with foundation. You saw that we applied different types of cheek products. We applied liquid highlighter, and depending on the finish will determine again what type of brush you choose to purchase. You could go either way, and again, I will be more than happy to help down below if you have more questions about these brushes. I will be happily rotating among them because depending on the day and feel and what type of foundation I wish to apply will determine what brush I choose to use in my routine that day. But no matter which one I pick up, that's the beauty of it. And not only in regards to liquid foundation brushes, but for any brush, that no matter what bronzer, blush, or loose powder brush I pick up, the same with the eyes. The brushes in my rotation, they're like all gold medalists. It's like no matter which one I choose, it's gonna be a good makeup day. That's it. Before it was like, ooh, I don't know about that brush. Before, I don't know. Any of these brushes that I showed in this video, I will happily use. I do have my favorites, however. I always, you know, the T-11. The T-11, I feel, is just perfectly sized for several tasks. The PF-4, I just love because of the aesthetic. Fu-Pa synthetic, I just love for the wedge. And the Fu-Pa02, I just love because of the shape. It's just so unique and unlike anything I've ever experienced in my collection before. The Mizuho, incredibly versatile and at a really great price point. The Nakamura Seisakusho, definitely pro in feel in that I see a lot of makeup artists use just like that beautiful lightweight application of foundation, and this is definitely an ideal brush to use with that task. Something more lightweight in coverage, ideal for photo shoots. The Kyureido, also great price point, can be used for foundation and cheek products. And of course the GSN-05, exquisite in how it looks, and you could use it for anything basically. I love them all and I'm happy that I have them all. You do not need them all. Let me make that clear. This is not to say you need all these brushes. It's to present the differences, the different possibilities that you might encounter in terms of your makeup application and what you think was not possible that you can definitely make happen with a lot of these designs. Let me know down below what you think. If you have any of these brushes already, I will see you down in the comments. A huge thank you again to Fude Beauty and the brands featured on their sites. Thank you so much for just creating exquisitely beautiful brushes and having these available on your website so we could partake in the beauty that is Fude. And until then, fam, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I will see you on here again with another review tutorial. Fude Extravaganza, monthly favorites, or nightly live chit chat. Take care, and I will see you again soon.